Michael dragged his suitcase off the baggage belt, rubbing his eyes. The airport was almost empty, the late-night fluorescent lights casting long shadows. He glanced at the black case in his hands. It looked exactly like his own. Same size, same color, same small, nondescript tag. Without a second thought, he wheeled it out and headed home. Once inside his apartment, he dropped the bag on the floor and unzipped it. The familiar smell of his clothes was missing. Instead, neatly arranged in foam, lay a set of professional locksmith tools. Each piece gleamed under the lamp, polished, precise, and clearly used before being carefully cleaned. Michael's hand hovered over the metal. His stomach tightened. These were not ordinary tools. At the bottom of the case, he noticed a folded sheet of paper. With a shaking hand, he opened it. It was a hand-drawn map. The lines were precise, each room labeled. Doors and windows were marked with small notes in neat handwriting. He froze. The map was of his house. Michael's pulse quickened. Every detail was familiar. A note about a loose back door lock, the exact time his hallway light turned off, a mark where the stairs creaked under weight. It was as if someone had been inside, watching, noting everything. He forced himself to breathe. It must be a mistake. Another Michael, another house, a similar-looking suitcase, anything to make it feel ordinary, but nothing made sense. He checked the locks on every door twice, turning each key slowly, listening to the deadbolts click. He peered out of the windows, shadows in the streets suddenly seeming too sharp. The suitcase leaned against the wall, untouched yet ominous. Sleep did not come easily. Every creak of the floor, every rustle from outside made him tense. The black suitcase had arrived silently, but it had brought with it a creeping doubt, a sense that something in his life had shifted. Tonight, Michael would check the locks again, and again in the dark hours of the night, because the mistake at the airport was no longer just a mistake, it was a warning. The next morning, Michael reported the suitcase mix-up. He described the black bag, the tools, the folded map. The person on the line sounded bored. They promised to call if anyone asked for it. No one did. Days passed. No emails, no phone calls, no missing bag report. The silence felt deliberate. At night, Michael spread the map on the table again. He studied the notes more closely this time. They were careful, patient, written by someone who liked order. The handwriting never rushed. The corners of the paper were worn, as if it had been folded and unfolded many times. Someone had taken time with his house. Michael began to notice small changes. One evening, his side gate was slightly open. He was sure he had closed it. Another day, his rubbish bin sat closer to the road than usual. It looked moved, not rolled. Once, on his way home, he saw a man standing near the corner of his street. The man checked his phone, then looked up. He did not move when Michael passed. He stayed there too long. Michael told himself not to imagine things. Still, he changed his routine. He left home earlier, returned later. Some nights he kept the lights off. Other nights he turned them all on. He listened more. Every sound became sharper. Footsteps outside, the soft click of cooling metal, the distant hum of a car engine. One evening, Michael went to move the suitcase. The place beside the wall was empty. His own suitcase was gone. The air felt heavy. He stood still, his mind racing. The switch had not been an accident. Someone wanted his bag, his name, his documents, his habits. Late that night, Michael lay awake, staring at the ceiling. A soft sound reached him from the front door. Metal touching metal. Just once. He did not move. He did not breathe. He waited. The sound did not return, but sleep did not come either, because now Michael knew something was watching, and it was close. Michael packed a small bag and told his neighbors he was leaving town for a few days. He locked the door, closed the curtains, and drove away slowly. He did not go far. He waited nearby, sitting in his car, watching his house in silence. The street stayed quiet. Lights flicked on and off in other homes. Hours passed. Michael kept still, listening to his own breathing. After dark, a man appeared at the end of the street. The man walked without hurry. He stopped once, looked around, then continued. He carried a black suitcase, Michael's suitcase. The man reached the front door and knelt. He opened the case and removed tools with practiced movements. There was no hesitation, no noise. The lock opened smoothly, as if it had been waiting. Michael called the police. He watched as the man stepped inside, closing the door behind him. A short time later, blue lights washed over the house. The man was taken out in handcuffs. He did not resist. He did not speak. Inside the house, nothing was damaged. Nothing was stolen. It felt worse that way. Later, Michael learned the reason. The man had been studying people with predictable lives, same travel habits, same routines, same times. The suitcase swap was simple. It gave him names, keys, papers, and time to watch. Michael had not been chosen for who he was. He had been chosen for how he lived. Weeks passed. Michael changed every lock. He changed when he left home and when he returned. Some nights he stayed in, some nights he went out. The house felt familiar again, but not safe in the same way. At the airport, months later, Michael stood by the baggage belt. Suitcases rolled past, all looking alike. He waited. When he finally reached for one, he checked the tag, the handle, the scratch on the side. Only then did he lift it. Some mistakes he knew now were never accidents. They were plans waiting for the right moment. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.